Hello and welcome to Playback with another video on history. Today we're diving into the incredible story of a single, powerful idea. An idea that started as a simple circle and, well, went on to build the entire modern world. This is the journey of zero. Okay, let me ask you a simple question. How do you write nothing? Sounds easy, right? But for most of human history, this was a massive mathematical headache. I mean, if you have 3 sheep, you can just write 3. Easy. But if you have no sheep, what do you write then? And for literally thousands of years, the best answer anyone had was, well, a blank space. Think about that. Ancient numbers could count your cattle, they could weigh your grain, they could tax your entire empire, but they had no way to actually express the idea of nothing. And that one simple limitation basically put a cap on what mathematics could achieve for centuries. So, what did this world without a written nothing actually look like? Let's take a peek at the kind of clunky systems people were forced to use. All right, just look at the difference here. It's kind of night and day, right? On the left, you've got Roman numerals. Now, I dare you try adding DCCLXXXIV to, say, CXX3. It's a total mess. But on the right, you've got the system we all use today, the one that started in India. 888 plus 123, we can do that on our heads. And the secret sauce, the critical difference, is that each 8 means something different depending on its position. Ones, tens, hundreds. That whole positional system only works because of one thing, 0, acting as that crucial placeholder. Now, to be fair, other great civilizations were wrestling with this problem. You had the Babylonians who just left gaps between symbols, which you can imagine got pretty confusing. The ancient Greeks, they loved to debate nothingness as a philosophical concept, but they never turned it into a number. And what's really fascinating is that the Maya, halfway across the world, independently invented their own 0 symbol, but they mostly used it for their super complex calendars, not for everyday math. The world was still waiting for a system that could fully integrate nothing as a real, workable number.
And that huge breakthrough, it came from the Indian subcontinent. This is the place where 0 goes from being just an idea to being a mathematical powerhouse.
And you can see that whole evolution play out right here. It starts small in the early centuries with just a simple dot appearing, to mark an empty spot in India's decimal system. But then, and this is the revolutionary moment, in 628 CE, a mathematician named Brahmagupta formally defines 0. He gives it rules for how it works. This was the game changer. By the 9th century, as you can see from this inscription found in Gwalior, 0 wasn't just some abstract theory anymore. People were using it in their everyday records.
And this is the really crucial point. Brahmagupta didn't just use 0 as a placeholder like a blank tile. No, he treated it like a real number with its own identity. By writing down the rules, how to add it, subtract it, multiply with it, he gave 0 the mathematical legitimacy it needed to completely change the world.
So, with its power finally unlocked, this revolutionary idea wasn't going to stay put for long. Its epic journey was just getting started, carried on the trade routes heading west.
Just try to imagine the scene, this incredible intellectual crossroads. You have Indian astronomical and mathematical texts filled with this powerful new number system, traveling with merchants and scholars. They're heading to the great learning centers of the early Islamic world, places like the legendary Houses of Wisdom in Baghdad. And there, these texts were translated, studied, and eagerly absorbed by the best minds of the time.
And this brings us to a really pivotal figure, the 9th century mathematician Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. He was absolutely instrumental in describing and popularizing this new Indian system. In fact, his work was so clear and so systematic that his own name gave us a word we use constantly in our digital age, algorithm. Yep, from al-Khwarizmi.
And this next part, I think, brilliantly shows how knowledge was passed on. The scholars in the Islamic world didn't try to claim this system was their own invention. They knew exactly where it came from, and they called it Hinsa, which literally means the Indian numerals. They were the crucial transmitters, the caretakers of this powerful idea. Okay, now for the next leg of this amazing relay. The journey continues across the Mediterranean, where these new numbers are about to set off a complete revolution in European thinking. So, in places like Toledo in Islamic Spain, there was this massive cultural exchange happening. Scholars were translating all these incredible works of Arabic science and mathematics into Latin. And remember, those works were themselves built on Indian sources. So this was the main pipeline, the channel through which the Indian number system, 0 and all, finally made its way into Europe. Okay, so this brings us to a famous historical mix-up. Why on earth do we call them Arabic numerals in the West? Well, it all comes down to the route they took. When European mathematicians like Fibonacci started championing this amazingly efficient system, they were learning about it from Arabic texts. So Europeans ended up naming the numbers after the people who delivered them, not the people who invented them. But let's be super clear. As we've seen, this powerful system is definitively 100% Indian in origin. All right, now that the system had finally spread across the globe, it was ready to unleash its full potential. It was about to build the very foundations of the world we all live in today. Just look at this screen. That string of numbers? It is the fundamental language of every single computer, every smartphone, every digital device you own. At its very heart, binary code is just a long series of ones and zeros. Take away that symbol for zero, and our entire digital revolution, it's just impossible. It doesn't happen. And the impact just explodes from there, branching out from that one single idea. I mean, think about it. Modern global finance and accounting, the scientific revolution, the development of advanced algebra and calculus that let us model the universe, all of it hinges on zero. The GPS that guides your car, the artificial intelligence that's reshaping our future, all of it is built on the mathematical foundation that zero provides. And that's really the ultimate legacy, isn't it? From a simple placeholder for nothing, zero became maybe the most powerful digit in the entire world. It's the silent, invisible backbone of our modern data-driven reality. You know, I think this quote just perfectly wraps up the whole story. It wasn't one person or one culture that did it all. It was this magnificent human relay race of knowledge, passed down across centuries and civilizations. It became a shared language of symbols that connected all of humanity. So that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought. The journey from a simple little circle to the complex code running our entire world is just astonishing. It really makes you wonder, what other simple ideas are hiding out there in plain sight, quietly defining the world we live in? Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.